Hello, and good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you. Welcome to the Tube. Hope well today. Hope you're feeling grand and all is well in your world. Hello there, everybody. Today we are going to do a shootout vid. They got me, man. Go on without me. That's my attempt at. I don't know. I should have been an actor. I tell you. You know, I could have been John Wick. Anyway, Dave Wick. Yeah, Candle. Anyway, Candle Wick. Okay, let's start again. Boom. Hello, and a good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good people of the Tube. Hope you're well today, hope you're feeling grand, and all is well in your world. Okay, today we're going to do a shootout between gauge 9s and 10s, because I'm gradually shifting all my guitars over to gauge 9s, as every time I play a guitar with gauge 9s, I fall head over heels in love with the way they feel over the feel of gauge 10s. I use gauge 10s, and in all fairness, I used 9s for ages. And then I found out Matt Bellamy used 10s. And I had a massive Muse phase. I was like obsessed with kind of like playing Muse songs for a while. And then I found Matt Bellamy use 10s. And then I found John Frusciante use 10s after that. Because, weirdly, up to that point, I didn't think. And that was probably about 3 years, maybe. Yeah, but about 3 years into playing. I just got 9s. I was just, I didn't think about it. I was recommended them when I first started playing. And that's what I used. And then I found out Matt Bellamy used 10s, and that led me down the rabbit hole of finding what other people used. Then I found John Frusciante used 10s with an 11 on the high E. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to switch to 10s. And I've kind of stayed there ever since. But every now and again I come back to 9s. And I used 9s for a whole year, about 2016-ish, give or take. And I used them on my vintage V6 for gigging, and the difference I felt was really freeing, if that makes any sense. Like, for instance, like this is quite hard to explain, but the last week when I did Q&A Wednesday, I played the intro on the orange Strat that's hung on the wall behind me, and that's got 9s on it. It's had 9s on it forever. I don't remember the last time I restrung a guitar. It was years. And when I was playing it, I just felt so relaxed. And every time I play other guitars with 9s on it, I restrung my Tokai with 9s. And there's what other guitars have got 9s on it? My Rose Morris SG has got 9s on it. On my black Strat behind me, that one there, that's got 9s on it as well. What else has got 9s on it? Oh, my Jimmy Strat, that's got the Hendrix gauge on it, which is basically 10s, but kind of not really, but like a light gauge 10. And my Washburn's got... Actually, all these guitars on the wall behind me have really light gauge strings. They've all got 9s on. And the same thing with my Les Pauls that are in the corner over there. The only guitar that's got 10s on it is the Revelation. And I'm starting to kind of dislike the feel of the Revelation, because my vintage Lemon Drop's got 9s and my Epiphone's got 9s. And I like the way they feel more over the 10s that the Revelation's got. And I don't like 10s on Les Pauls. I did it to see... It was kind of an experiment to see if I could get away with just not buying two different gauge strings and just buying 10s all the time. And as much as I don't like it at all. I just don't like it on the Les Paul at all. They're just there because I haven't restrung it yet. I might buy another pack of strings today, actually. But might buy 2 packs so I can do my Revelation Les Paul as well. But anyway... When I play with gauge 9s, because I digress, there is a freedom and a relaxedness that comes with 9s. And there's also a confidence with gauge 9s that is there with gauge 10s, but isn't as strong. There's a very different feel to the way gauge 9s make me feel when I play. Like, confidence-wise. There's something about them. So, like I said, I've been gradually shifting over to gauge 9s. And I've been really enjoying it. Like with a couple of guitars, like I say, my Tokai and a couple of other guitars. So today, the only issue we've got really today is the fact of the strings on Mr. Red have never been changed since I got it. These strings are really worn in, so they're very dead. They're exactly where I like them to be, if that makes any sense. So like, you know, they're really, really worn in and played in, and they feel nice. But there is that resistance there. I can feel it now. Just vibrato in the G string. I can feel that, and I can feel it in the B, and I can feel it in the high E. There's like a resistance there that isn't there with nines, or isn't as much with nines, should I say. So the only issue we've got today with this shootout is the fact I'm going to be buying Ernie Ball strings, just because I don't have the ability to get hold of Diodario. But I don't. In all fairness, I'm starting to not be that bothered. As long as the strings are good, I don't really give a monkeys what brand they are anymore. And you know, I'm not driving like, you know, miles and miles away just to get one pack of strings when I can go 5 minutes down the road and be playing my guitar again in as much time as it would take me to get there, get them, and get back, if that makes any sense. I'll just want to play my guitar. I don't want to have to kind of wait around. So, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, but yeah, the only issue we've got is they're going to be Ernie Balls to Diodarios, and these are worn in, and the new ones are going to be brighter, obviously. So, what this video is going to come down to is not necessarily difference in tone, although I am going to do sound examples on that as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get like a looping chord progression on the looper, and basically what will happen is I'll play with the 10s, and then we'll restring, and I'll do it with the 9s. Obviously that won't, you know, that won't be in that order. I'll do the thingy with 10s first, and it'll cut straight to the 9s, because I want them back to back. It won't be a long loop either, probably like a minute or something like that, because I'll be able to kind of tell. And I'm just going to see which one feels to me as better. And another thing too is I'm going to save these strings just in case the 9s don't work out. I'm going to save these strings. I'm not going to cut them. I'm just going to take them off and bundle them up in case the 9s don't work out. I can put these ones back on. So, like I say, this isn't about kind of difference in tone. We're not looking for difference in tone. We're looking for difference in feel and confidence of playing. Like, you know, what does it make? How more confident do 9s make me feel than 10s? And I'll tell you what I feel at the end of the video after the looper clips. Like I say, 'cause it's not about tonality, because it's going to be different, because these strings are old. The Diodario, they're worn in. Whereas the new ones are going to be Ernie Ball, and they're going to be brand new. So it's not really about tone. It's not about how bright they are, because the 9s will wear in and they will get darker. Because, like I said, I don't restring a guitar until I break a string. And even then I'm very hesitant, because I like old strings. So let's get on with it, shall we? Let's go and buy some Gauge 9s. And I think I'll buy some 9s for my Revelation Les Paul as well. And let's just see, because like I said, there is a confidence there with Gauge 9s that isn't there with 10s. So this should be interesting. And also, people of the tube, as usual, let me know what you like string wise. If you like heavy strings, let us know why in the comment section below. If you like really light strings, let us know why. And what is your preferred kind of gauge of string? Not make, not brand, or whatever, like that kind of thing. Just what gauge and why. What is it about that gauge of string that makes you go, that's the one for me, like, you know, so to say. So without further ado, let's go and buy some strings. Okay, back, and we have the strings. Super Slinky 9-42s. These are the strings that I used for absolutely ages, actually, until I switched to Diodarios. And I've used Diodarios longer, but I say these are easier to get hold of where I live than Diodarios. So, yeah, I can order Diodarios in, and but I have to wait for them to come, and I don't have time for that. Damn it, I want to play the guitar, not wait to play it. Anyway, moving along. So, like I say, this video isn't about difference in tone. It's more about difference in confidence and the way the guitar kind of like makes me feel, I suppose, in a way. You know, just kind of like, do I feel more confident with 9s or 10s? You know, which one feels better? So, what you'll hear next is a loop, basically, on 10s, on Gauge 10 strings, which are on here at this point in time. And then after that one, immediately after that loop of about a minute, you'll hear a loop with gauge 9s. I'm not going to film restringing it as, it's I think I've done a video on how I restring guitars. It's very simple because I use the Kluson machine heads. It's very simple. And then basically, yeah, so 10s first and then 9s, and then basically I'll give you my little final thought at the end of the vid. As a bit of a side note, I had to pick something else up while I was in town. I am officially now a Dave glasses wearer. So these are my new specs, everybody. What do you think? I've needed glasses for a long time because of my dyslexia, and my eyes are pretty bad. So now I have glasses. So what do you think, people of the tube? Do they look good, or do they make me look stupid, or do I look very intellectual all of a sudden? I could be Albert Einstein's long-lost brother. Maybe. I doubt it highly. Anyway, enough on that. Let's do a loop with 10s and then 9s, and let's see how it feels, see how it differs. I can only afford one pack of strings today, sadly, so Revelation's going to have to wait. So, moving along. Noise. So, there's the sound examples. Like I say, 10s were first, 9s were second. I don't know quite what I'll make of it. Sound-wise, I didn't really hear much difference. It didn't feel any different in expression-wise, if you know what I mean. But I will say the 9s felt more effortless. It was just easy. It was like one of those things like when I was settling the strings in, I just played along to that little loop I created, and I was just playing and playing and playing and playing and playing, just getting these strings settled, just bending the monkeys out of them and just kind of like getting them seated properly. And it was just one of those things of like, I could do this all day. With 10s, sometimes after a certain amount of time of playing, I can feel like fatigue starting to set in. Not horrific, kind of like, oh my god, but it's enough to make me go, need to stop for a second and catch my breath. Whereas with these 9s, I didn't feel that. With the 9s, it felt a lot more like I could just keep going and going and going, like a Duracell battery. It didn't feel hugely, like, bends just felt gorgeous with the 9s. Like the half step bends and the full step bends and even over bending and stuff like that just felt really comfy, and I just felt like I could hold the bends as well. I I felt I could just, even at the high end, I felt I could just I could get hold of the last fret if I wanted and just really hold it right up there with no effort and just hold that note. Which sometimes with tens, when I get to a high note, especially really last frets, when I bend that string, sometimes I can kind of, you feel it in your wrist, and your wrist is kind of like, just like, I'm holding, just keep, yeah. Whereas with these, it was like, yeah. It was, if you know what I mean. And I'll tell you what, though, they do, and also, there is a weird psychological thing with nines and light strings, and they do make you feel more confident. There were certain things. I mean, I didn't go too overboard with trying things that I've never tried before. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean. I wasn't about to all of a sudden start whipping out the shred, because that's not really where I want to go with playing. You know what I mean. There will be times when that will happen, definitely, but that's not really what that backing track required. And also another thing is I wanted to span the neck as much as possible, so I was trying to make a flow up and down the neck and just try and feel all the different strings and just try and play as many different kind of positions as possible, just to kind of get an idea of how it feels in different places. And it feels really good. Nines feel really nice. So they're going to stay. I'm going to stick to nines. Is there a huge difference between nines and tens? Not in feel-wise, to me. I expected a bigger... for instance, definite differences were bending and confidence in playing certain things that maybe sometimes I would be a bit more hesitant to do. Bending up the high end of a fretboard, as soon as I could bend up here, really easily, I felt a lot more inclined to want to make that kind of part of the guitar sing more. I don't know if this is making any sense whatsoever, but I don't know, I do like the nines. They do give you a confidence. They do give you a bit confidence boost, because it does feel... The guitar feels like it's a lot more kind of... there's no fight back. And I don't like it when guitars fight me. I don't like it, because I like the guitar to be part of me. And I don't like it to be that part of me that fights against me. You know what I mean? I've got enough of that going on in there. So I don't need that from this. And it doesn't happen all the time with tens, but there are occasions and there are days where sometimes I'll play a guitar with tens and I'm just like, this is just fighting me far too much and I don't like it. And it feels, there's a disconnect then. It's like, it's just like, this is too much like hard work kind of thing. And I don't want it to be hard work. I want to enjoy it and have fun and really have, get lost in the guitar and let it become part of me instead of it. And if it's fighting you, I feel I can't do that. You know what I mean? I can't do that. It doesn't happen. Those are the days. Those days where the guitar fights me back are those bad guitar days. I don't enjoy playing because it's just like, this is just ridiculous. I can't make anything work. Whereas with these nines, it doesn't feel like that's there. They're just kind of under your fingers and they just kind of go with where you want them to be, which is nice. You know what I mean? Especially, again, up this high end and up this low end, they're just kind of like, they're there. But I could feel my wrist was a lot more relaxed with the nines than the tens. There was a lot more, relaxation going on in my wrist than there are in tens. The tens, sometimes my wrist can get a bit kind of like that, and then with the nines, there was none of that. It felt a lot more relaxed and calm. I felt calmer playing. I felt like I could just shut my eyes and just enjoy the thing. If I wanted to get frantic and crazy about it, then I feel I could. But again, the song didn't. The chord progression that I came up with didn't dictate me to do that, so it didn't happen. It didn't feel right. But I feel like I could if I wanted to. I feel like I could go really high. I could go really low. I could do fast runs if I wanted to. I could hold bends, I could bend up easier. So there's definitely more confidence in nines for me than there are tens. Feel-wise and tone-wise, I didn't hear a great difference. These are obviously a bit brighter because they're brand new. They've got a twang, and I don't like that. That'll have to go. But it's alright, because all I do is play this guitar every day, all day, so that'll be gone by the end of the week. Ernie balls take no time at all to settle in. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with the 9s. I mean, will that change back to 10s? Most probably. Most probably at some point in the next couple of months, in the next year, in the next 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. I'm sure I'll go, I really fancy 10s now. And I'll probably flip back to 10s, and then I'll probably flip back to 9s. You know, but for this point in time, where I'm at, these 9s are definitely where I want to be. And I say, having restrung a couple of my guitars with 9s, and then restringing this guitar today with 9s, and I'm just kind of like, this is kind of where this is where I'm being led at this point in time to gauge 9s. I don't know why. It's just more relaxing. And there's more confidence in me to go for things that I might maybe hesitate with 10s. And again, talking about Dave Murray the other day in Q&A Wednesday last week has made me think about 9s even more, because Dave's always used 9s, and I love Dave's playing. And Jimmy used 9s. Rory would have used pretty much 9s. They were light gauge strings. And this is Rick Beato's fault, everybody. This video is his fault. When he did that video about, does string gauge make a difference? Like, it really does. And it does make a difference to your sound as well. But I reckon it makes more of a difference to your confidence level, how you feel when you play the guitar. Because I feel not infinitely more confident with 9s, but I do feel more confident. It's a bit weird. There is definitely something going on there, and I like it. So like I say, and I can feel myself being drawn to 9s recently. So you don't ever want to shut those kind of like feelings out. If you kind of like pull towards something, you kind of want to go for that kind of thing. So, and I'm glad I tried it actually, because it's really nice. And even on this, I mean, because obviously this guitar's hardtail. So, there's no tremolo, so it feels different to my other Strats, which I've got 9s on there. For instance, the Orange Strat's got a tremolo, the Tokai's got a tremolo. This is a hardtail, so there's no springs in the back to kind of alter the sound. Alter the feel, of the strings, because with a tremolo, I find that, like, if you make the tremolo float, the strings feel different to how they feel when they're locked down or really locked down. There's different like increments of feel with a tremolo Strat, whereas this has got one. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. But like I say, there's definitely a confidence difference. I don't know. I just like it. It feels good. Like I say, will I change back to 10s? Probably. I'm definitely kind of like on the fence whether to kind of like stay with 9s for the rest of my life, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not sold that far into it. But for this point in time, this feels right. This feels more right over the 10s. Definitely. So, be that for what it may. Like I say, people of the tube, let me know in the comment section below, like I say, what your favourite string gauge is. Not brand, none of that. Just what the gauge is and why do you like it so much. Like I say, I mean, I'm trying to be as kind of like to the point as I can be. I'm not very good at being to the point, as we all know. But, like I say, just let me know what your favourite string gauge is and why. What does that do? What does that make you feel? If it's heavy or light or whatever, what is it that makes you feel? Because like I say, these 9s, they feel right, and they make me feel more comfy, relaxed, and a little bit more confident on the guitar than the 10s did. Because, like I say, I felt confident with the 10s, but there's something about these 9s that makes me just kind of, if you know what I mean, like just breathe, be a bit more connected to the guitar. Because I feel like we're going in the right, like I say, sometimes 10s can fight you in a bit of in a way that annoys me, and these 9s just feel like it's just like, yep, we are one. You know what I mean? just for whatever that means. But yeah, I mean that's how it felt when I did the little sound example with the nines. I just felt like I could do it for hours. You know what I mean? With the tens, I had the same feeling, but I also had the feeling of you can't do this for hours because your hand will tire out. You know what I mean? You can't do this and you can't do that because it'll eventually wear your wrist out. Whereas with these nines, it just felt like, I could do this all day. Absolutely do this all day. And funnily, my wrist does feel more relaxed than when I play with nines. So yeah, anyway, I'm going around in circles again. So yeah. So be that what it may, people of the tube. I hope there's something in this video you can kind of take away. Like I said, I don't know. But I'd say I'm curious to hear what you reckon and what you know. And also what you heard. Did you hear a difference in the sound examples? I was using the same pedals, same backing track. I didn't change anything on the amp or anything like that. It was the same, exactly the same thing. Same guitar, obviously. And the same pedals. I just had the Boss DS2 and the Marshall Jackhammer on. And that was it. So let me know, people of the tube, if you heard any difference in tone. Like I say, also bear in mind, like I say, they're a different string brand. They're also a different gauge, and these are brand new, whereas the old ones have, I haven't restrung. The only string that was changed on this guitar was the high E when I broke the original high E. So the high E was changed, but other than that, the E, A, D, G, and B were all original to when I got this guitar. So then they're Diodario's. So I don't know. But let me know, people of the tube, let me know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody, and I will see you on Wednesday for Q&A. And yeah, have a great morning, afternoon, and a good evening. Yes, goodbye now. Thank you very much for watching. And cheers. I know what that is. Weird. That was weird. Forget that. Either way, glasses Dave.